What's up, y'all? With my channel, I am DJ, aka Token Black. Got in for the first time. Hit that like button, subscribe button. So, as the title said, this is gonna be my review of Thunderbolts, a new Marvel movie, starring Florence Pugh and all that cast of characters. I'm just gonna give my honest opinions. This will have some spoilers in it, so if you have not seen the movie, come back later and to check this out. But I just want to say there's a lot of hype. People are saying this movie was the Marvel's back and everything, and I have to say it was overhyped. The movie was overhyped. It it wasn't that good of a movie, honestly, to me. Did I hate the movie? No. It's not a horrible movie, but it didn't live up to the hype that everybody was talking about. As we heard of the early reviews, like, this is the best, movie since whatever and ever. It is a lot of things that I'm not saying it's not a bad movie. I just never got that. It felt like I never reached that point where I was like, oh man, this is awesome. It was just like, okay, yeah, I see what they're doing. Like, okay, we're cruising along. Yeah, with that said, I'm going to start mostly cons, and I'm going to try to be positive and end with the positives of the movie. But yeah, overhyped, not the best Marvel movie. The characters is what I have a problem with. So we got all these B-level Timu bargain bin Avengers, as we want to call them. Elena, Red Guardian, Bucky, U.S. agent. We have Ghost, Taskmaster. With Taskmaster, why did we even have her on in the promotion stuff? Because she dies in like 3 minutes of the movie starting. 3 minutes. And I have to be honest, I got late to my movie, so I missed like the first 5 minutes. Like, if I probably was there 6 minutes, I probably would miss her dying. That's how quick she dies. So why do you even have her as the cast? Like, I mean, this is kind of like in Daredevil when they kill Foggy in the first 10 minutes, but at least I cared about Foggy. When he died, it was like, oh my God, they did it. This, I was like, that was dumb. Like, what's the point of having her here? But that being said, it's like, I think one of the real problems I have with this movie is that I didn't really care about anybody in this movie. Like I said, they're all pretty much bargain bin characters except for Bucky, who's been here since, basically Captain America. He's the only one that I had any kind of connection to. I like some of the characters. I like Elena. I like her character. I just don't have that deeper connection with her. So when they're in the movie, when things are like serious, it's a side track. I'm going to come back to it as a positive later on, but I think, but what makes it a negative on this side of it is they talk a lot about like mental health in this, which I appreciate, as someone who's dealt with the issues that they talk in that movie. I appreciate it. But again, the problem with them like talking about the darkness and all the stuff that people go through and how they deal with the past, that they, things that they regret and depression and stuff like that, and being alone. I like that message, but the problem with delivery is that I don't care about these characters, so it kind of it makes that message kind of lesser and not as much of a connection to it. Again, like I said, these are all B-level characters. It's like we don't really care about them. I didn't like Agent whatever, the U.S. agent in Falcon Winter Soldier. I didn't like his character at all. I like Elena, but I haven't had enough time with her to deal with. Ghost, who cares? It's by probably the worst Ant-Man movie other than Quantumanium. But and then Taskmaster, we had him for 5 seconds. Red Guardian, he's funny, but his jokes get old quick. His jokes get old, and it gets to a point like half of the movie, just like, dude, just come on, just have whatever. Now there was a moment that had a little heart to heart with her and Elena, and that I it was nice. But again, when you don't have that deeper connection with the characters, it's hard for that to come across more of what it is. I think the writing was good in this movie, but again, it's because of the characters that we were given. It doesn't make the writing. It doesn't help the writing. If that makes sense. So that's one negative. I kind of went into. Um, I think there's a the villain Sentry. I liked him. I like the concept of him. I don't know much about from the comic books. Um, I just I don't know. I thought the whole way that we ended it by them going into his mind and stuff like that, and basically talking him down off the ledge and all that stuff. It worked, but it's just like I thought this. It'd be more like this dude was like Superman. Like he is powerful, and that's how they beat him. Like they just all just jump in the darkness and take him out. So I had a little issue with that. Um, I didn't like the Valentina character. She got on my nerves. I thought she was a weak part of the movie. Always being jokey and everything and stuff. And just the whole dynamic of her like not facing her like the hearing that they kept going back to that hearing and then it just never happened. And she basically takes over the Avengers Tower and has it now as her new thing, and she ends up making them the quote unquote new Avengers now, which I thought okay, so they talk about a movie. The Thunderbolts is basically Elena's soccer team when she was a kid. It was a funny joke, but they kept going back to it over and over again, talking about the Pee Wee soccer team, Pee Wee soccer team. It got so old. And that's the problem. One of the problems I have with the jokes. I get this is kind of more lighthearted because it's like the bad news bears or whatever of the superhero world, and they're teaming up this ragtag team. But the jokes has got over, and the one-liners got overused. I know some of them were funny, but a lot of them were hit and miss. It's like some of them made we were some laughs in the theater for some of them, and some of them just like, especially from the U.S. I don't like the U.S. agent characters. His one-liners got on my nerves the whole time. But yeah, I think if we had a better cast of quote unquote heroes, I think this movie would have been better for me. It's just, again, I could not feel that connection with the characters because I have no history with them, or they didn't make me want to care about them enough. What else I want to talk about? There was some other stuff I want to talk about. Kill Taskmaster off very quick, useless character. Valentina didn't really care for her character. The whole mental health thing. But yeah, I mean, again, the whole time through the movie, I was waiting for this big, big, big moment, and it was just like it never came. I never got that. Oh, here we go moment. I got that like in the credit scene, but we'll get to that later on. But yeah, I just couldn't relate to the character. That's my biggest issue with the movie. Is like I didn't care about these group of people at all. I wish they kind of put Elena to the forefront of this, which again, I like her character. I think she's a good B character, sidekick character, but to be upfront and everything, I wish they had more on Bucky because they talk about the people's past. We all know Bucky's past and everything, but like they go into this void or whatever and have to deal with whatever problem they had. But we only really touched on Elena's a lot, Bob's, and U.S. Agent. We didn't even go into Ghost. I don't think her little trauma or whatever. So it's like I don't know. They're kind of missing missteps with that. Oh, I will say during the fight scene with Sentry in the Avenger Tower, some of the CGI looked kind of too CGI. The fight scene was really CGI to me. Like it was. I don't know why I didn't use stuntmen or whatever, but you could really see the CGI in that. So that's another critique I have. But like I said, I'm trying to be more positive in life. I know that's a message in this movie. It's like, don't live in the darkness, whatever. So we're going to talk about some pros in here, which, back to the mental health thing. I said, this is a pro and a con to me. I like the message of the mental health stuff about dealing with, past issues and the depression and the loneliness you can deal with in life. Because there's a lot of people out here that deal with that. I get the message. I personally have dealt with that. I still deal with that. And so some of the things I can relate to in that, but again, it's hard when you don't relate to the character or care about the character like that. And, it kind of went on too much of, and I don't mind a message in a movie, I get it, but it no, I mean, I'm not mad that they did that, or I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying that it just I think it's just because I didn't relate to the characters. Like I keep going back to I could not relate to these characters because I don't care about these characters other than Bucky, pretty much, because I have history with him. But also a positive is what I've been asking for, and I've said it multiple times on this stream and on Robert Storm's live and to hang out with the guys and all our discussions on Marvel and what they need to do, and that is to connect things back together. We are missing a connectivity where you went to a Marvel movie, whether it was good or bad, to find out what happened next. And I will say this movie, it sets things up for the future. It sets things up for the future. From in the movie where Valentine reads this is the new Avengers. Finally, so that's a little the asterisk was for Thunderbolts. This is the new Avengers. So they are taking over as the Avengers. And then we cut to the end credit scenes. And I like the mid credit scene where it's showing how the public is reacting to it, where some people are accepting it, some people are not. Like, not my Avengers, the B Avengers. Like, I like this guy, I don't like this person, blah, blah, blah. I like that. So that when we set up for the future, and then we fast forward to the post credit scene, not the BS one with the Wheaties, but later on, it's them. It's 14 months later. They're established as the new Avengers by the government, and Bucky reveals that Sam is starting his new Avengers, and Sam is not happy about. He's not acknowledged them as the Avengers, and Bucky said he talked to him. He did not take it well. So that leads up. That's going to be a clash between the new Avengers and the Avengers, which is why we saw them on the seats. And Elena's kind of taking it serious, and it's like there's some space threat or whatever, and so she's like doing her computer stuff, and they zoom in on the craft, and it is the Fantastic Four craft. Soon as I saw the shape of that, I was like, Fantastic Four. I didn't know it was like Fantastic Four, and they rolled over into the four. So, and it's an interdimensional airship spacecraft, detected. So we know that that's going to happen now. And that's what we needed back in Marvel. So I say that makes the movie, the end of the movie basically makes the movie worth going to see. If that makes sense. Is it a bad movie? No. Is it a great movie? No. I think it's a middle of the road movie. I personally think, and this is my opinion, I think this movie was better paced. Not paced. It had a better writing, in it than Captain America Brave New World. But I had more fun with Captain America Brave New World. That makes sense. Obviously the box office doesn't show how I feel about Captain America. I think is a great movie. If I had to rewatch one, I would watch Captain America Brave New World over this one. But again, it's not a bad movie. I think the best part of the movie is the end of the movie because it connects things and pushes the story of the universe forward to our next phase. And that connectivity that I've been asking for years now to get back to, because that's what Marvel made his money out. It was back to his roots of you had to go see a movie to find out what happened next, whether the movie was good or bad. You stayed in your seat to end credits, or something in the movie would connect later on, whether there's little Easter eggs or whatever, but connected, the universe connected, not this jumble mess we've had in the past few movies where, like Shang-Chi, why do we even have that movie? That made no sense. It has not made push anything forward. So, but yeah, so if I had to give a movie a rating, again, I don't think the movie was bad. I'm going to say, top of my head, I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give the movie a 6. Slightly above average. I think 5 is like middle of the road. I'm gonna say 6 because of the ending. That bumps it up for me. I know the critics were raving about the movie. I think the movie was overhyped. I think it was really overhyped. Sinners is a much better movie. I hope it goes back. That's going back to IMAX. So that movie is amazing. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, with all that negative said, I think this is it did, in the bigger scheme of things, I think was a plus for Marvel, if that makes sense. Because it is getting back to what me personally asked for was connectivity between movies in the universe. Which, if we can get back on that track, I think things will get better in the future for Marvel. Was this, some grand slam that just set the train back on track? No, I think it was a small course correction. It was in the long run. I didn't think the movie was as great as the hype and everything. I still think it was a positive for Marvel, but not as good as it could have been, if that makes sense. And like I said, I don't know what everybody else is saying. I try to not all my buddies like Rob and Danny and Gaskar and all of them. I don't watch their reviews until I finish my video. So I'm curious to see what they're going to say. I like I said, I give it a 6. I think the movie was, I don't think it's the worst movie that Marvel has ever done. It's far from the worst, but it's no grand slam. It's no ultimate savior of the Marvel universe like people were talking about. Like, it's the best thing Marvel's put out forever. Was it a bad movie? No. Was it great? No. Was it overhyped? Yes. Was it worth going to see? Yeah. I guess. Again, I think, in my opinion, just for the end of the movie, that was worth it for me. So, but yeah, we'll see what the box numbers. I can't talk. Box office numbers. There we go. Are for the weekend. But yeah, but that's it for me. You can catch us on Sunday night on 7 o'clock on Robert Storm's Live channel. We'll be discussing this movie right here, probably the whole show. I'm curious to see what the guys have to say. But this has been my review of Thunderbolts. Leave some comments down below what you guys thought you saw the movie or not. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, let me know down below. But let's keep it peaceful. Let's talk about it. Have a discussion. Hit that like button. Try and get 2,000 subscribers. So yeah. Till then, guys, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.